to find a job. But if your bigger picture or aim of the life is to become a pilot, this is the time. Do it now. Hopefully by 2 years, aviation should recover beautifully. Tejas, if you would like to share your point of view on
Right,
this.
absolutely. I mean, I personally have full faith in the market in India. Number one, for the sheer population. Number two, if you look at from 2015 up to 2020, aviation in India, and this is not me talking, this is the absolute statistics. You can go write it down, you can record it, you can go Google it if you like. There are you will find this information. Aviation in India has grown 20 to 22% a year continuously for 5 years, which has been the highest growth in the probably history of aviation of the world. Even China or the US has not grown so much. India is now the third largest aviation market in the world after US and China. Now, just to compare US and China, I've got a few figures here just for you to know. Currently, the US has 7,550 aircrafts. I'm talking about commercial aircrafts. I'm not talking about private planes or like choppers
General
or
aviation.
yeah.
General
So I'm
aviation.
looking at 7,550 aircrafts commercial with a population of 330 million, which is about 1/4 of what we are. And they have 52 airlines registered in the US, that including the huge American Airlines and United, and then the smaller ones. Some are regional, some are corporate, some are charter. No, sorry, I'm not looking at corporate here. Some are charters. 52 airlines registered, whereas India is sitting at 442 airplanes right now, which is great because that's how it's grown in the last 5 years. So 442 commercial airplanes compared to 7,500 airplanes in the US, being the largest market, and we have 1.4 billion population. I'm not saying everyone's going to fly. Currently, we are looking at about 1.5% of the population, of the registered population of country, who are frequently flying. If that number increases to 4% in the next 5 years, can you imagine the number of planes that would be required? Okay, another one. India has 346 civilian airfields, out of which 243 have paved runways. 93 are just there. Paved means they're grooved and they maintain and all that. All of them, 132 airports are under renovation or construction right now by the Airport Authority of India. These are not the ones that are announced. These are ones that are under renovation or construction. And the renovation could be something like a Cochin airport that got put solar panels and now using stuff like that. Okay. US is looking at 19,900 in airports, including private ones. I mean, so if you're trying to say we don't have the potential to grow, I don't believe so. And if you're saying that, I got a message saying that, no, you know what, there is a lot of corruption in India, it will not happen. I don't believe so, because India is doing everything possible. It got 100% FDI. So that means that foreign airlines, foreign investors can invest into aviation 100% in the last 5 years. They got the whole Udan RCS scheme, where airlines that are ready to fly to smaller new airports, smaller destinations, something like give me a name, Vishal. Smaller airports like under the Udan scheme.
Oh, there are lots. Nanded is there, Sholapur.
Nanded, Solapur.
Yeah.
So places
So
like
many.
that, if you're ready to fly, the government is going to give you lesser taxes, lesser landing fees, lesser operating costs, terminal free passengers for most of the airlines that are doing it. They have approved MRO. So that means maintenance, repair, overhaul services to do with aviation now can be foreign invested. There's an entire Vision 2040 that they have, which is on the DGCA website. DGCA is the Director General of Civil Aviation, which is the one authority below the Civil Aviation Minister, basically taking care of this. And they have allowed foreign investment, which basically shows that you will be surprised to see how many airlines in India, including the airline that I worked for, invested in airlines in India because they see the potential. They know the population. They know that people are traveling. They know that people want to save time. They know that people are now moving up to, I don't want to keep all my money into properties and FD, and I want to travel. I want to save some, time as well while I'm working. I want to take my family out. Everyone wants to travel around. Domestic market in 2020 in India has seen the biggest boom because people couldn't travel abroad. And now, of course, after the second wave is stopped because it just went crazy. But and I'm sure you all have friends who now, suddenly started flying to like a Kulu Manali or flying to Kashmir and all that, who never even went to all these places before. So the growth potential for me is fantastic. I mean, if I had to probably put my money on one market, it would not be the US, it would not be China, it would be India, because we are just so immature about it. We are just literally beginning. We have seen the kind of growth in the last 5 years, and there's so much more to go. And yes, we have taken a major hit. I'm not denying it. People have lost jobs. People have lost lives. And a sincere, may may all the captains and the co-pilots who have lost their lives fighting for COVID, being the absolute frontline workers and the front warriors for us. May they rest in peace. Hats off to them for actually continuing. Hats off to Vishal, your team, everybody there. Getting ready, going there, wearing that mask, flying around. So in spite of that, people have, obviously there's been redundancies, there have been salary sacrifices, there have been people who've asked to let go, there have been age restrictions that have come up, people are not getting second chances, etc., etc. But it's absolutely temporary. I mean, I don't see it going on for the rest of the lives, where all these planes are all ready for you to fly, ready for you to go everywhere. I mean, how long will this go on? It cannot go on.
Absolutely, absolutely. So,
Yeah.
as we all know, the world, almost every country has managed to, develop or import some kind of vaccinations. Once the public
Absolutely.
is vaccinated, immune, this is going to be thing of a history. Yes, COVID will be remembered probably forever, but then people, will develop immune system to fight it, and things will start moving northwards again. As I think in max 6-8 months from now, where I see. Yeah,
Yeah.
so there is no need to panic, guys. Stay calm, stick to your vision, and chase your dreams. Don't do things half-heartedly. If you're going, go all out for it.
Right. So Vishal, let's
So
take
yeah,
questions. Question number
yeah.
one. What are the basic requirements to becoming a pilot in India?
Okay, so guys, what I will do is I will tell you a process. Okay, what I believe is the right process. So there are two ways of going about it. One is you first do the ground training part in India, clear all your DGC exams. Second part is you can go straight to a flying school in India or overseas and complete your flight training and come back and do the conversion. Well, I would say, first of all, in both the cases, please make sure that you have done your class one medical at least. Make sure before you put your money, you're medically fit for the job, right?
Right.
So I would choose option number A. The reason being, once you clear all the DGCA exams, once you understand the theoretical part, it first of all helps you in understanding the flying faster and better. Secondly, once you complete your flight training, especially if you're flying from outside India, from abroad, and once you come back, your conversion will finish in 2 months. But if
Yeah.
you go and do your flying first and then come and back and pass your papers, the conversion may take up to 8-10 months a year. In which means you may lose your recency, which means you may have to fly another 10-15 hours, spend another 2 lakh rupees to get your recency back. So step-by-step process will be, apply for your computer number, get your medicals, pass your DGC exams, if possible, pass your Indian RTR exam because it comes with a lifetime validity. You don't have to, be hassled for rest of your career. Then do your flying from wherever. If it is abroad, come back and do your conversion and apply for issue of CPL. So this is the process. Anybody who is telling you otherwise, please don't get misguided. There might be some short-term benefits, but longer run you'll be troubled, money-wise and time-wise both.
Right. So just to recap what Vishal said, the first thing first, medical. You need to know if you are ready to be a pilot. Whether it's your eyesight. Yes, specs are allowed as long as it's corrected 6x6. I'm wearing one ever since I started flying. First is medical, then is getting a computer number from the DGCA, then is clearing your DGCA papers, basically all the associated 5 or 3 papers, Vishal. Three
Three
papers
papers if you are doing pure flying overseas, five
flying
if you're
overseas.
doing it in India. Yeah.
So 3 papers is you need to clear them, followed by doing a radio telephony examination so that you can get your license to actually talk to air traffic control, followed by going and actually choosing, choosing a flying school and going and completing your commercial pilot license, flying training, and then coming back, doing your conversion, and basically applying for a job. All of this process, Vishal, should take you approximately, if you are an absolute average pilot or an average performer, how long should this take you, Vishal?
I should say about 18 months.
18
Okay,
months.
this is, yeah, it can be fast tracked if you're really good with your books,
Yeah.
right? Vice versa, if you don't pass your papers timely, if you have to take repeats on the check rides, it may take longer. But average, I would say 18 months is a good time window.
Right. Absolutely. The next question coming up here, Vishal, is I am a graduate. Can I do this after BCom? And is it compulsory to get your graduation?
Okay, well, first of all, to be eligible to apply for your computer number, okay, all you have to be is 12th pass with physics and maths. Okay, that's mandatory. DGCA does not have an age limit or a graduation requirement as on date, but as on date, the eligibility is just 10th and 12th with physics and maths. However, there's no minimum percentage requirements, but there are few airlines who basically make the eligibility of 50% marks in physics and maths in your 12th. So if you're passing 12th, please pass with 50% or above, I would say. More the merrier, but yeah, try to pass with at least 50%. Graduation is not required as on date. Commerce background, if you don't have physics and maths, let's say, what you can do is you can apply for physics and maths through NIOS, which is National Institute for Open Studies, right? So they have different, I think twice in a year, they come out with exams. So you can write the exams, get your 10th and physics and maths certification, and then go ahead with your aviation career.
Right. Secondly, everyone's asking bang on the right question that we all love as Indians, ki bhai, kitna kharcha hoga?
Okay.
So, and everyone's like, how are we going to fund it? How are we going to help raise that kind of money? And then how much will it cost if you fly in India, or how much will it cost if you fly abroad? Vishal.
So Tejas, I think you are a owner of Airbus. You should be knowing that
Yeah.
better than
So yes, before I've been promoting along with my other aviation senior friends. We've been promoting this training academy in Mumbai that we set up, which is called Airbuzz. The name was inspired by Airbus that we've been flying. So we decided to create some buzz with that name. So Airbuzz, it's in Mumbai. It's right in Andheri, bang on, beautiful location. It's a nice, like a very decently spaced academy where we do CPL, ATPL classes, radio telephony classes. We do, and like one of our USP is that we've got a beautiful A320 sim that you can see on my background. That's what we have in-house in our classroom. So basically, we have a tie-up with a couple of flight schools, which is one in India, one in Philippines, one in the US, according to your choice, according to your goal. So we are currently looking at about 56 to 60 lakh of rupees from the start to the end. Is that right, Vishal? Is that what I emailed you?
Yeah, I think that 60 lakhs is including the type rating. I think CPL you mentioned is 43 lakhs, if I can recollect.
So yes, so just the CPL about 43 lakh rupees, depending upon where you end up doing it. Then you've got the classes, and then it's basically CPL. Everyone's asking, how do you raise that kind of money? Well, it was difficult for all of us. Not that we were born rich, because mostly guys who were born rich do not really get into this line. If I was born rich, I would just buy my own airplane. But luckily, banks are giving loans now. I mean, if you want to know more, definitely Airbus has a tie-up with a bank, and we can, help you get a bank loan. The bank would only give you a loan on the basis of the credibility of the flying school or the credibility of the flying institute. So just because one bank found us creditable or credible, we were basically allowed to share your paperwork, and then it depends upon how good your paperwork is for them to approve the loan. What I also believe is almost 25 lakh up to 30 lakh is given on loan. As far as I personally do not know of any place that gives you scholarships. Of course, there have been instances where, you know, people have come from really small villages, and their sarpanch or their committee members have got together and, you know, supported the CPL training, but that's at a very personal level. There's no scholarship yet. There's no government that basically allows you to do it. The next question that I'm going to take, Vishal, is a cadet pilot program of IndiGo or AirAsia, or doing your own type rating. Basically, let's be honest, cadet pilot is a fantastic program, and there's no doubt about it. Whether it was IndiGo, whether it was AirAsia, I know a couple of my friends who have joined them right from start to end. Most of them is almost costing about 75 lakhs up to a crore, which you pay over the time. You don't pay a lot of money upfront as well, because they, you know, like you pay some upfront and then they basically deduct some money from your salary once you're released to fly, etc. etc. Depending upon the contract. I'm not sure about the contracts because most of them are revised now. But my take on it is, if you're going to begin now and you're going to be ready with your CPL in 2023, that's when you're going to have a lot of airlines ready. That you're going to have the time where there are going to be jobs, you know, across the country, whether it's flying a 737, whether it's flying an ATR, whether it's flying a, you know, whether it's flying a float plane, what, you know, SpiceJet was doing, whether it's flying a cargo plane, whether it's flying a corporate, whether it's flying charters, whether it's flying air ambulances. They have seen a significant amount of increase of charter planes getting hired to go as an air ambulance, right? So with so many jobs coming up now, we have seen incidents where a few pilots have actually waited after joining, you know, like really major airlines, and they waited for their chance to come and to start flying and get released, while someone else who did their own stuff, you know, went to classes, you know, got their flying done, came back, apply for a job, and they are actually fast release flying already, and their friends who joined cadet pilots are waiting. Also, the good part about a cadet pilot program is definitely you have job security. So you know that for a fact that your airline is not going to terminate that job, is not going to let you go. They will keep you. So whatever happens, COVID happens, whatever, you are still on their payroll, and you are, you know, still an employee of that airline. So that's the good part. But I still believe that if we are preparing for 2023, where we are going to see a boom in cargo, like just to give you an example, today India has 25 cargo planes. Okay, Blue Dart being one. Vishal would agree to me. Spice is just starting. IndiGo is getting excited about cargo because no one could have imagined that, you know, I mean, cargo could have made so much revenue for an airline before this. And you know, someone like a US, again, just to compare, has about 880 cargo planes. So India has a potential for cargo. So it's not only flying passenger airplanes, it's also cargo, which is going to come up. It's going to connect three-tier, you know, cities. It's going to have smaller planes connecting cargo. Just to, I mean, Amazon has increased so much. They want planes to fly. I'm sure all the 200 people connected right now have, you know, basically order stuff online. Now, you know, there is an option of ordering stuff from, like, you know, different countries. All of that would only happen via an airplane. It will take ages for it to be shipped. I mean, if it has to be on a ship. So that is the potential. So if you're preparing for 2023, I don't see why I would lock myself into a big airline of a cadet pilot program. Yes, for sure, it's a discussion like I would have with my father of, should I put my money in a fixed deposit or should I put it in mutual funds? It's completely debatable, and each has their own expertise of saying. He will say, oh, it is extremely secure. I would say, yeah, but it's not giving me much returns. It's exactly that conversation of how you're going to benefit.
Absolutely.
Do you agree with
Absolutely.
that?
Yeah. So guys, first of all, uh, if at all you want to be a cadet, okay, if you are still interested in joining a cadet, your first and foremost criteria of choosing an airline for a cadet pilot program is their financial stability. Don't join a cadet pilot program for airline which has been in the newspaper for, you know, finance problems. Because
Yeah.
today you invest in them, you know, they shut their shop tomorrow. Who are you going to catch? No one. Nobody's going to be there in the office anymore. So if I really take the liberty, if you're really keen in joining a cadet pilot program, you can, you know, blindly put your money on IndiGo. I mean, they're the most stable airline in the country financially. That's there for everyone to know. It's no more a secret. But for rest of the airlines, be cautious, I would say.
And
Secondly,
not,
continuing, yeah,
just to add there, Vishal, do not get ever carried away by anyone trying to tell you that I will get
exactly,
through the program. No, you go
exactly,
online, you apply. They will call you. You have academies in Delhi. You have Airbuzz in Mumbai that can only prepare you to join. We have no connections whatsoever to say that I will get you, or no one can ever, or no pilot or no captain can ever say I will get you a job in an airline. It's not possible. He's very senior. I've been senior, but I don't think we have ever seen anybody, yaar tu aaja main tujhe le lun. Ye nahi hota. I could always
absolutely.
recommend, but at the end of the day, you still have to pass the interview. You still have to pass the written exam, and it's a very
Okay,
clean affair. Yeah, nobody is here to take any money from you. That's for sure.
Amitesh, sorry, I think there are people messaging who wants to join in. Can you please allow them? Okay, so continuing, first of all, cadet is expensive, like Captain Tejas just briefed. In case you have got some extra bucks for that surety, okay, go ahead. But the downhill of that is your flexibility goes away totally. Now you're committed to one airline, maybe one aeroplane, and whereas there can be 10 other airlines which have opened up in last 2 years. So that kills your flexibility, because once you spend about a crore rupees with the airline, I mean, I'm not sure if we would have, enough money to do another type rating or let go that money. So your flexibility absolutely goes out of the roof. So final decision is yours. Both has its pros and cons. Weigh them nicely, and then pick up what suits you the most.
Absolutely.
Right?
Vishal, the next question for you, please take it. India versus the US. Flying in India or flying in the US? Which one would you choose
Uh,
and why?
I would say both are amazing. Both are good. Both gets
Also,
you a CPL at
Philippines,
the end of the day.
also the question of Philippines
Oh
coming up.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. We'll answer Philippines. It's an interesting one because there's a lot of myths about flying in Philippines. First of
Yeah,
all, there is no comparison, of general flying in US versus India. I mean, their infrastructure is way ahead, right? You just
right.
gave us statistics of the number of airports, the number of runways, which means they can accommodate a lot more air traffic. So there is no comparison when it comes to general flying. But good news is now India has become conscious. Our civil aviation department wants India to start doing a lot of in-house training here. Uh, in terms of learning value, I would say it's just the same. Look, guys, at the end of the day, if you're planning to become an airline pilot, by doing your CPL, you're just meeting the eligibility. Whether I would choose a school or a country which gets me my license faster at the most affordable price. There should not be no other criteria. Of course, when you choose a school, look at their flight safety record. I hope their planes are maintained well. Their instructor to student ratio, that is very important, right? Would you be given enough attention? Uh, Pricing, third factor, time taken. Somebody just wrote a question on Canada. Well, Canada is slightly cheaper to do your CPL, I would say, but because of the snow problems, it takes much longer. Though your
Yeah.
direct cost towards your CPL might be less, but when you put in your living expenses for a longer period of time, I would say your net cost comes more or less the same. Plus, now you have delayed your issue of CPL license. So
Right.
I'm not
And
very
now
sure.
just to,
Yeah.
sorry, and now like just to give you an example with that, Vishal, it is absolutely credible because everybody knows this, and I'm going to put it up there on the platform that he actually completed his entire CPL in the US in 3.5 months. He went and came back in 3.5 months. And you had a guy like me who first went to Canada, spent about a year there getting my PPL, and then I moved into California. But then I spent another year. Of course, I was also having fun, and then I spent another year, and then finally, like it took me like a good 20 months just to get my CPL and then get my Indian CPL. So at the end of the day, yes, it extremely matters, as Vishal correctly said. It's a flying school, depends upon how many planes they have, what kind of maintenance, and the cost factor, of course, and the weather plays a huge role. Like I went to Canada, everything was great, but then a few days, it was just not good weather. I mean, you would go to the flying school every day and they would say, sorry, we can't take you flying today because it's very cloudy or it's super cold or it's snowing or, etc., etc. So it didn't matter even if it was cheaper, or it was say cheaper to live in. It didn't really help me as much. What it helped
Absolutely.
Vishal, because he went to Florida with all that amazing weather and all the beautiful beaches, and he didn't even visit the beach. He was just in the air. He came back in 3.5 months.
Guys,
No,
so like we said, timing in aviation is paramount. It's of
yeah,
utmost importance, I would say. The path, the process which I discussed with you, this is the process which I've followed, and trust me, it has helped me. All I can say, God was with me, but it was satisfying to see everything falling its place the way it was planned. I completed all my papers, RTR exam, medicals, and everything. So when it came to flying part, I just flew to US, did the FA CPL in like about 3.5 months or less. Came back, converted my license. I got a job within 2-3 months. Had I taken, let's say 6 months more anywhere in the world, right? I don't think so. I would have, had that opportunity of working with Kingfisher Airlines, because I was the last batch which Kingfisher recruited. Then and thereafter, that bulk recruitment stopped. Then there were a few bits and pieces, people were coming in and on, but major recruitment stopped after that. So I
absolutely.
think timing is of utmost important.
Yeah, and the same with me. The one big mistake that I went, or the huge mistake that I did was actually did not clear my papers first, and I went for flying. Of course, I totally enjoyed flying. It could have been better if I would have cleared my papers. But every time I flew, at the back of my head, I'm like, I have to go back and I need to clear my papers. I need to clear my papers. I need to clear my papers. It was a mistake because it took me longer. Yes, lucky. I got lucky because, when I joined Kingfisher in 2006, it was booming, right? There were a lot of jobs. There were new airlines. Deccan was 1 year old. He had, changed the whole history of aviation for the first time, brought in low cost airlines. Kingfisher was new. SpiceJet was starting up. So, yeah. So, those were good times, but um, this is what we are definitely not promoting in this academy, and we've been absolutely clear about it, that even if you want to, with all your excitement, go for flying tomorrow, we are not promoting it. You will have to clear your papers first and go with the peace of mind, with a nice basic understanding of flying as to what you're going to actually do once you take off, and it's all going to make sense because you have studied it and now you're going for your practicals. People say,
Absolutely.
oh, but you know what, I think it'll make more sense if I actually go fly first. It'll make sense on my theory. Well, it may make sense if you were doing history or geography, but for aviation, I would say it was different, because Captain Vishal did it the right way and I did it probably the wrong way, because we didn't have the right guidance. There were too many people giving us too many. They said, "Bhai, pehle to tu jaake flying kar le. Wahan pe bahut sari bheed ho rahi hai." No, it didn't help. It didn't help. We were allowed, and we must clear our papers first, because that what helped a lot of my other friends. You know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So moving on to interesting topic of is Philippines banned by DGCA? Is it blacklisted? I get a lot of DMs on Instagram, asking, inquiring about Philippines or having ambiguity. So first of all, DGCA does not approve any flying school outside India. Okay, DGCA does the approval only for flight schools which are based out of India. Okay, I mean based in India. So any school which is outside India, abroad, DGCA has nothing to do with it. So DGCA accepts flying from any school or any country which is a member of ICAO. Okay, so Philippines is absolutely a member of ICAO and they follow all the guidelines laid down by ICAO. DGCA absolutely have no problems in accepting, your flight training if done from, Philippines issued, your license
Right.
issued by CAPA. So you're absolutely fit for conversion. Yes, I think about few years back there were a couple of cases which came into the forefront that few people have forged their flying and they have flown in Philippines, and of course DGCA got to know and they did not issue them the CPA license. Now the question is, if you forge your flying in India also, you are not going to get a license issued by DGCA if they get to know. So cheating remains cheating whether you do it India, US, or Philippines.
Absolutely.
So that has nothing to do with the country or a flying school. When you're doing for flying for 200 hours, you're paying for 200 hours. Make sure you fly not even 199.59. You fly at least 200 hours. So if you do things honestly in a correct way, Philippines is absolutely good, I would say, and it's one of the good places to fly because weather is good, beautiful beaches around. So I
Yeah.
don't see any reason. that Philippines should be considered as bad option.
And also, just to add, I have, I've actually flown into Manila, and it's a beautiful place. Very nice, friendly people.
Yeah.
They love Indians. It's good food. It's a very, 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 I would say, cheap place to live. It's, a cheap place to party as well. It's a cheap place to, travel. It's a cheap place to eat. And that makes a lot of difference, because you don't want to spend extra money in your stay, in your lodging, boarding, in your, travel and stuff like that, because all your money should go for your flying, and nothing extra, right? You should not be spending extra taxes like you would if you were, like you would if you were in Canada. You don't want to spend, over the top money for all those things. So yes, Vishal, they are asking what is the recommended school in the US?
Oh, that's a tough one. Honestly, there are tons of school, I would say, from East Coast to West Coast to Central America. Like I said, it's really difficult to point out a few Skymates, FFTC, and there are a few more. Like I said, there's a wide range of schools. Just check their safety record, guys, online. There are a few schools which are offering, CPL with a CFI program. Okay, well,
CFI is Chief Flight Instructor.
Yeah. So where you can, basically after CPL, take a flight instructor course and, start training and make some hours and some money. Now, the question here is, which we need to ask is, what is your final aim? To be airline pilot or to be an instructor on a small two-seater aeroplane? Right? If your aim is to be an airline pilot, you have to get an Indian license in India, make yourself eligible. After that, if there are no job opportunities, you can fly back to States and take the course. But if you're committing yourself for 4 or 5 years, I mean, I don't think so personally. It's going to help. It sounds lucrative living in States and all those things, but at the end of the day, it's not doing any good to your career. And that, two-seater experience, trust me, worldwide, it's not counted anywhere when it comes to airline recruitment. I mean, they know that it is a different ball game, right? So I would say, choose a school. Again, criteria should be what gets you the flying done faster and at the most affordable price.
Right. And as he said, FFTC and Skymates and schools, basically what he's also talking about is California, Florida, Texas, these three states in the US, basically because of the kind of weather they have, makes a lot of difference when you're going to fly. And the same if you're looking at Philippines, if you're going to, places that are non-monsoon, for sure, they have monsoon 3 months. The remaining 9 months, they have clear and nice weather. If it's India, of course, the monsoon season is always, time where you don't end up flying as much, but then the rest of the 9 months, there is also a flying school in Baramati, which is picking up now. It's called Redbird Aviation. It used to be Carver first, and now it's, revamped. It's, it's got new planes, it's got new instructors. They're, going the absolute legal way. They have, CCTV cameras everywhere. They are, seeing what you're logging. I mean, everything is computerized, everything is on an app. And that makes, life much simpler, much cleaner than, what it used to be when we flew, because everything was manual then,
Yep. So, yeah, what next?
The next question is, again, if someone asks me future of Indian aviation after Corona, I'm going to repeat for all the guys who joined in. The future, please don't only look at airlines. India is going to grow as far as cargo is concerned, as far as float planes are concerned, as far as charter companies are concerned, as far as corporate is concerned. You will be surprised to see the number of corporates and the number of charter aircrafts that actually flew last year. So don't just focus on, okay, I need a job with, the best airline in India. Agreed, yes, but you need a job where you're going to have a lot of fun, where you're going to enjoy your job, where you're going to fly, different airplanes, different destinations, like, just to give you an example, if you're going to fly for, say, if you're going to fly for Adani, if you're going to fly for a corporate like him, he's going to fly the world. So it doesn't matter if you're just going to fly, domestic airline, or you want to fly corporate. And all these jobs are going to start picking up because everyone has changed their style of flying, especially during Corona. You agree, Vishal?
Absolutely. So, guys, Indian economy right now, I would say, is an apple of the world, apple of the eye for the entire world. In spite of this entire COVID situation, the only economy worldwide which grew is India by 11%. Okay, so this is the potential India has as a country. there was an article by Boeing in which they see the world aviation, growing 100%, and out of which around 60% aeroplanes to be routed towards Asia and India,
Absolutely.
right? So we're talking about, a few thousands of planes to be introduced in next, a decade and a half. So you can understand the number of job opportunities it will, provide to the, aspiring pilots and existing pilots, of course. So I see, if I'm a guy who's anyways very optimistic, right? So
Absolutely.
I
Same
would
here.
say, the future looks bright to me. We cannot really 100% give it in writing, but in an educated guess, there is no reason to panic. Indian aviation has a huge and bright future. It is verified, confirmed, and on media, Civil Aviation Minister, Mr. Hardeep Singh Puri, had said that India will have a deficit of 24,000 pilots in next 10 years. So currently we're sitting with what, 5, 6,000 pilots maybe. So
Yeah.
24,000 in next, 10 odd years, you can say 5 times more number of pilots required. So, well, I would say yes, future is bright.
So there's a question, how many vacancies arise for CPL holders after 2 years? Basically, just to tell you what was happening in the last 5 years, there were basically, I left India in 2014. Yeah. So that's almost about 7 years back. In 7 years, when I left, India had a total of about 3,800 total pilots in the entire country. Today, we are sitting at 6,000. So you can see, obviously, all these pilots have been recruited. And don't please forget, a lot of people like me moved abroad. A lot of people went to the Middle East, they went to Singapore, they went to Vietnam, they went to various places in the Far East, various places in the Middle East. Obviously, getting a job in the US or UK or Europe, if you are a passport holder of India, is not possible, or it's kind of difficult, especially if you're applying for an airline. Um, so this is the entire lot. So you can know that this is how it's grown up to 2020. So even if it's a slow growth in the next 3 years, I see it becoming the exact same post 2023. Definitely in 2 years from now, it's going to become the same exact growth which was there. And that means 3,000 pilots in 7 years. So you can count and understand.
Yep.
Next question. How was your airline interview experience? Well, I've given 4 till now. I've got through 3 of them, which is good. One that I did not. I really wanted to join, but they didn't hire me. They're mostly they know you're a pilot, so they know that flying skill is a small part of it. There's a lot of focus on you as a person, a lot of focus on something called your CRM skills, which is your crew resource management, to see how you work in a team. There's a lot of focus on do you how do you think, do you help, how are your leadership qualities, how are your communication, how's your situational awareness about what is happening around, how's your knowledge, so obviously all the theory that you've studied, can you really reciprocate it? So basically reciprocate it in terms of application of procedures. So basically these are these 7-8 competencies that they're looking at when they're doing an airline recruitment. Obviously it has been demand and supply. So the next 1 year, whoever gets recruited, and I'm sure the people are getting recruited, obviously will be slightly tougher than what it was pre-COVID, and it will relax as it goes. But the key is all the competencies. It's just not one thing, and it's definitely not whether you are a little healthy or you are fit, or how good looking you are, or how fit you are. Like, I mean, Vishal is a super smart guy and I'm like this, but we would still, both of us would get the job. Yeah, Vishal.
Thank you for compliment, bro. So
Right.
guys, if we make it a little more simpler for you to understand, I would say 5 key aspects when especially airlines globally are looking for in the candidate when they're recruiting. Uh, First would be your knowledge. There will be a small written test which you have to pass to proceed to the
Yeah.
next round. This is knowledge based testing. Then is skill based testing. You might be asked to do a small half an hour sim session to show that you can fly the plane, you understand basic lateral and vertical axis of the aeroplane, right? Third is an interview in which your attitude is checked, which means you'll be given few situations. It can be technical, it can be non-technical, but more often non-technical. They're trying to know you as a person. Are you a very
Right.
hyper kind of guy? Are you calm? Are you composed? Have you managed few situations which you might have been in, in the past? Then, of course, nowadays, most of the airlines do have a psychometric rounds, which is basically, it's called a compass test, which is comprising of small things, which you can prepare for, right? And fifth is your medical tests. So once you pass all these 5 rounds, of course, you'll be given a job opportunity anywhere in the world. But like I said, first things first, uh, make whatever you're doing. If you're doing it with love, with passion,
Yeah.
all these things automatically gets inculcated as when you grow in the career of yours. So
Right.
keep your basics right. Okay, stay grounded, and things will fall into place automatically, I would say.
Right. The next question coming up, Vishal, is should we do the type rating after CPL? Should we go ahead and do a 737 or an Airbus 320 type rating, or should we wait for job opportunities?
Uh, so I would say it work either ways. Okay. So first of all, we need to understand how the airline recruits. Okay, when airlines needs, let's say, 100 first officers, they'll come out with vacancies so that they give opportunity fairly to all. They will
Yeah.
come out, let's say, 30 pilots they want to hire through cadet pilot program, 40 they want to hire in a category of CPL without type rating, and 40 with type rating, right? So cadet, of course, it's an independent program which they will start on their own. Now, when you are fighting for those 40 seats, CPL without type rating category, your competition might be very, very stiff, right? There might be, probably 800,000 students appearing for those 40 seats. So you have to be absolutely top of the line to crack the written test, right? But whereas when you, apply in the category of CPL with type rating, for example, let's say, IndiGo SpiceJet, that you have done a type rating on Boeing 737 or Airbus 320. Now, when you write down the written exam, your exam will be more specific on the type rated aircraft you're on. And secondly, because type rating is additional 15, 17 lakhs, not all those 800,000 students would have done type rating, which means you're competing with maybe 100 odd students for those 40 seats. So your probability of cracking an airline interview becomes brighter, I would say, or higher.
Yes.
So that's how it
Same here. I
works.
would agree to that. There is a question here: is the type rating difficult? I would say the whole course is extremely challenging, right from the start to the end. So whether you're doing a CPL or whether you do a type rating, you have to work extremely hard. There's no doubt about it. You have to keep asking questions. Luckily, there are tons of YouTube videos now, and that really helps, which we didn't have when we began. So now there are lots of resources. You have academies, you have Airbus that can prepare you for your type rating. You can go do a simulator, which is going to help you, because if you go abroad, or you go to a specific flying institute to go do your type rating, and you actually do not pass one session, or you do not pass your check, it's very expensive to repeat it. So so you're much better off preparing, and each to its own. I mean, it's not that you must go to like a training academy to be prepared. Some guys can sit on YouTube and learn it. A few guys need that extra coaching and training, and for that I think you should do your research. Go get the right coaching from a guy who is experienced, not just someone who's never flown an Airbus 320 is going to teach you how to fly a 320, which is absolutely a big no, because there are tons of like that. I mean, tons of pilots like this in the market, who've never
Yeah,
flown it, and I'm going to teach you. So you don't want to do that, because you are going to learn an Airbus 320 from a person who's flown an Airbus 320, period. You know?
absolutely. Plus, also, which aircraft to choose, if you're trying to do your type rating before getting a job. So I would say it depends exactly on civil aviation of your country you are in. Like for example, if we take India's example, out of 440 odd aeroplanes, I would surely say India would have 300, at least 320s only, right? So which means there are more airlines, with the 320 fleet. So if I do a self-sponsored type rating before getting a job, I would put my bet money on, Airbus 320, because that is where the world Indian market is focused on.
Absolutely. So you're looking at AirAsia India, Air India, um, Go
Go
Air,
Air, IndiGo,
TrueJet
Vistara.
soon going to get 320s, and then Vistara. So you have, 6 airlines right there who only operate 320s, and it
Yeah,
is a common. It is the popular, and it's nice. It's fun. I've been enjoying flying it for all these years.
yeah, yeah.
The next question: what happens if I don't get a job after I get my CPL?
Okay. So, so there are a lot of opportunities, I would say. If you haven't had a chance to, do your graduation before CPL, you can opt for, more education, educate yourself to a degree post graduation. You can pick up flying license itself gets you few jobs. You can be a dispatcher in the airline if there
Absolutely.
is a vacancy. You can be what do you call it? You can be working
Air
with
traffic controller as well. You can
air
go to
traffic
that.
controller. I know a few people who have joined as a cabin crew, so that tomorrow if there is a internal recruitment, they get internally transferred, especially female candidates. Uh,
Absolutely.
you know, and or you can opt to become a flight instructor in India or overseas,
Yeah.
right? Remember we spoke about CFI program. So few students start flying as a flight instructor in different countries, so that they earn their bread and butter. Also, make some hours in the process. So plus this is aviation related jobs, but then otherwise you can pick up so many other things in life. If your father has a business, you can put in a hand there, or your cousin has a business, you can join him for a while, just to have your bread and butter going on. So
Not
if you're
not to
willing to work,
forget,
you will find work.
there were guys in who had done their commercial pilot license training in the year 95, 96, who basically gave up on aviation because they never got jobs and it didn't boom. And in 2005 and 6, they actually joined with us, who still had the passion. So the whole fact remains that once you have tasted flight, you're never going to go back, right? You're going to always enjoy, and that is what, if you actually want to become a pilot, it has to be passion driven first. If you're becoming a pilot just to wear a nice uniform, just to go talk to girls, or just to make some decent money, that's not going to get you a job, but that's not going to get you successful, even if you get a job. So you need to be passion driven, and the passion can help you work hard. But if there's no passion, or if you're just becoming a pilot because your friend is one, or because your mom and dad want you to be one, I think it's a difficult job. Yeah.
So yeah, another question, Tejas, which I keep on asking, keep or is being asked is how tough is DGC exams? So probably since you are owner of Airbus, if you can throw some light on that.
Well, definitely, Vishal. I think doing it is tough if you're going to try to mug it up, or if you're trying to, basically try to solve those questions. Most of them go and attempt it because they are multiple choice questions and the pass mark is 70%. They keep attempting different attempts to see, यार आज कुछ तुक्का लग जाए और मैं पास हो जाऊं. The whole idea is that, yes, I know people who have passed like that, but that's not going to get you very far, because sooner or later your knowledge is going to be judged by either when you go to a flying school or going to be go to an airline. So I would highly recommend you must join a training academy. um, if you're in Delhi, if you are in some state where there is a good training academy, please go ahead, because someone is going to explain to you what all these terminology means. As soon as you start right after 12th, you're just going to be 17, 18 years old, and you would there'll be so many things just thrown at you, and you'll be like, okay, what is this weather, what is this, what is this approach, what is this, what does this mean, what does this stand for? And till it makes sense to you, you're not going to basically understand it. And I think that you need an expert or someone who can explain to you, even if he is not experienced when it turns to lots of hours or a commercial pilot. He needs to have the ability to explain to you what you are reading. And for that, joining an academy is a must, according to me, because when you're spending 50-60 lakh of rupees in becoming a pilot, you don't want to compromise on that 1 or 2 lakh of rupees and not basically understanding the matter from from a subject matter expert. So if you're in Mumbai,
Absolutely.
definitely Airbuzz Academy, please have a look at it. It is beautiful. We would go and we would highly recommend you just give us a call, land up there, look at the facility, look at who the instructors, look at our notes, look at our PowerPoint presentations, look at how we conducting computer-based trainings, look at how we conducting aptitude tests. And it is extremely important that that you choose a training academy like that who will give you an experience of uh, being an airline pilot right from the first time you enter.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, like Captain Tejas said, guys, I would say what happens is if you try to do things on your own, first of all, the question is it doable? Yes, it is doable, but in the process, you may end up losing too much time. The things which can be completed in 6 months, you may take a year and a half, right? So when you get an expert guidance, when you're being guided by somebody who knows inside out of the field, it fast tracks your progress, right? So the things can be achieved at a much faster rate, which saves you time and money both. So I would highly recommend. I had a chance to visit Airbus facility, and all I can say is I have not seen a better academy in last 15 years or ever since I have started my journey than Airbus. It is one of the and most amazingly developed infrastructure.
Okay.
I'm
We've
Congratulations, Tejas,
Thank you. Like we've got our
for
love
setting up
to
such
it.
a
We have got our absolute heart on it. We have great guys associated, along with Captain Nasta as well, who's very, very, very senior guy, and he's got his mind. All of us at the academy have our hearts in the right place, and it's definitely not making money. It's to basically impart what we have learned and to share our experiences, even the bad ones, that you don't want to do this or you want to do this, or this is the right path. Whether you come to us or whether you don't, it's your choice. Like I'll give you an example, Captain, if you don't mind. There was a guy who'd gone for his type rating. He went to Bahrain to do his type rating, and he couldn't make two of the sessions, and he was kept on hold. He had to go through repeat. It didn't happen. Finally, he took a decision that I'll take a break. I'll go back to India and I'll come back later. This guy came back. This guy got in touch with us. He came to the academy. He had we've got a senior instructor, Captain Shankar, who's training them. He's got 320 380 experience. He trained with us. He went back to Bahrain and he absolutely cracked it, to a point that I can share his report that said that significant improvement after visiting India. So obviously, it does help. It does help if you are under the right guidance, the right person or the right promoter trying to share that guidance for you.
okay. So yeah,
flying school in Canada, it keeps popping up here. Basically, I would say, because I flew there, I would say British Columbia is a state, which is BC, which is Vancouver is the capital. So basically, around Vancouver would be a great place to go do your flying. There's this place called Pro IFR, I think, in this city called Burnaby, at least during that time. But at least it's got much, much better weather compared to the rest of Canada, where it's snowing a lot or the weather is not good for visual flying. Yeah.
yes.
CPL or graduation? Same
So a lot of
question.
people advertise for Canada, or choose Canada just because somebody promises CPL at a cheaper price, but then they don't really end up telling you that the thing which can be done in 10 months will take probably 30 odd months. So you're, like I said some time back, your overall cost may not be very very less to do your CPL.
Right.
So choose wisely, guys. All I can say is that.
And if your plan is to go and get a Canadian PR, yes, it's a great idea to go to Canada and do your stuff. But otherwise, I personally wouldn't recommend it. I would definitely say US, Philippines, India. These three places make a big difference for you as your salary. I knew this was coming. I was waiting for it. Are we talking pre-COVID, post-COVID, during COVID? Okay, people are saying pre-COVID.
Are they
Vishal,
talking
how much?
about your salary or my salary?
My salary it's the exact same of what's in India. It's just that we don't pay taxes here, and
Yeah.
but then it compensates for the cost of living. So yeah, Indigo salary I think begins with 1.5 lakhs, I think, a month, Vishal.
Yeah, I think so. Once you're a line released first officer, I think around somewhere between 1.5 to 2. I'm not very sure,
Yeah,
to be very honest. I've never asked this question to a first officer, how much you want.
absolutely. I know it's not the best questions. Like the way I've never asked anybody here when I'm flying with mostly all the local first officers because they make good money.
Guys, so what we can say is rather than quoting a figure to you guys, we can say the salaries are quite handsome to live a very good life. Okay, I hope that satisfy your questions. One, whatever money you're investing, you'll recover that cost in less than 2 years. And rest, if you assume a career of 40 years, rest 38 years is all your money, man. Money is not an issue in this field.
Right. Uh, what other questions are coming up here? So post-COVID, all right. Cost of doing your CPL classes at Airbuzz, we are looking at 1,10,000 plus the GST. This is what we have, which basically covers all the three main papers. If you're doing a radio telephony, it is 30,000 plus GST, which is absolutely at the market at the standard price. Yeah, so we're looking at 1,10,000 for your papers, which is for the first 3 months, Captain Vishal.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Questions, 10 more. When will our aviation topics easily understood? Well, it's just to repeat, yes, they are if you've got someone to explain properly. And if you are, obviously you need to have the kind of aptitude. It's always recommended if you just want to go ahead, do a quick aptitude test to realize, do I really have skills to become a pilot, which, which will give you your flying skills, like, I mean, how good you are with your vision and stuff. It's yeah. So
Sense of direction, sense of direction, sense of,
absolutely.
yeah, all those
Yeah.
things.
When will IndiGo open their cadet pilot program? I am sure really soon, because sooner or later they're going to need a lot of pilots coming in and instantly flying. And I would say again, my whole bet is on 2023. I think that's going to be a game changer for all of us.
Absolutely.
What about IGRUA examination? I'm not really sure. I won't be able to answer that question.
Sorry. What's the question?
IGRUA. How is IGRUA as a flying school, which is in Raebareli in India? A really popular one.
Yeah.
Been there for a lot of time.
Yeah. So IGRUA, of course, has been one of the oldest and one of the good institutes in India. It still is, right? Yeah. Though it is becoming very expensive, doing your CPL through IGRUA. I would say there are schools with equally good infrastructure now. I think Redbird is doing very well. They've got a fleet of about 12 aeroplanes already. They're doing their training in a very fair manner, fast. So IGRUA is good, definitely. I would not say it's a bad school, but there are a few more as well.
Yeah. That's a really nice question. How do we start, or how do we begin preparing to be a pilot? Or what can I start reading? Something like that. I think that's a really interesting question. You can see lots of YouTube videos. For me, I would definitely answer that, because it's going to give you a thrill. It's going to give you goosebumps. Keep seeing aeroplanes. Keep reading about books. There are, plenty theory available online. And if that excites you, you will also know that you really driven, are you really passion driven to actually go ahead and become a pilot?
Sure. Guys, can you guys mute your mic?
I think Thirji is trying to ask a question. Go ahead, Thirji. Okay, he's muted. Anyone who wants to come up on the screen? Yes,
Tejas,
yes.
Continuing on your same thing, how should we prepare ourselves to start a journey? So guys who are in 10th, 11th and 12th, I would sincerely request all of you to focus on one thing at a time. Do not compromise on your 12th education or marks because you want to be a pilot. Because if you score well in your 12th, God forbid, if you are not able to pursue aviation for any reason, please give yourself a very fair chance to be eligible in other courses and colleges. So yes, keep somewhere in your subconscious that you want to be a pilot, but your conscious mind should always be focused on your present, which is your 12th grade. So
Absolutely.
score well in your 12th grade, and then there are enough tools and avenues available. Internet is one. So many nowadays it's easy to reach out to so many pilots through Instagram. Talk to any one of us. There's so many books you can read online to educate yourself, but do not compromise on your 12th grades, I would say.
I totally agree. Yeah, definitely. Study that, because being a pilot, just the whole thought of it is extremely exciting. It is very, it's a glamorous job, and we just look at that. There is a lot of hard work. There is a lot of effort to be put in. So as Captain Vishal said, please go step by step, because it's very, very important. Clear your 12th first. Have at least 10 options before you can pursue your dream of becoming a pilot. I would say that.
Yeah, it's good to have a bigger goal in your life, but if you keep thinking about the 10th step, whereas you haven't even started your journey, it will only put a lot of added pressure on you. It will only dilute your performance at the first step. So go step by step, give your best in each step, and you will climb up the ladder in no time.
Right. Let's take questions. We have
Sure.
Shubham.
Sure.
Shubham, if you can probably come up on the mic, come up on the camera. So
yes,
Shubham
yes, a very good evening, sir. This is Shubham this side. Sorry, sir, I can't turn on my camera if
no
that's
problem.
okay.
No problem.
Okay, sir. So like I have a very personal kind of question. So I have played internationally football for India under 19 and under 21. And so I was back in Russia. So like my right thigh bone broke during a match with Russia. So will I be able to clear the class 2 medical? Like I'm in Chandigarh right now. I can't travel, for the class 2 medical. So is there like any issue with that?
I would say that I actually personally had a friend who, who used to limp after a car accident, and he cleared his medical. So I don't see a problem if you have been cleared by your doctor, who would say that you do not have any other issues. Personally, as per my knowledge, I could probably say, like 90% be sure of the fact that you will clear it. But you in particular do not want to take a risk of joining any classes, doing anything till you don't have your class 2 or your class 1 medical in your hand. And also congratulations. I mean, that's amazing. Like it's quite good to see football fans out here and playing.
No, sir, actually because of the injury, I have to leave football, like I can't clear my medical there.
Shubham, it's an honor to be chatting with you, somebody who has represented India. It's a big deal, okay? It's a big deal.
It's really an honor to see you guys. Like my dad is also in aviation. You might heard of Pawan Hans, right?
Yes, absolutely. We all.
Yeah, he's in Pawan Hans. He's a senior engineer in Jammu base.
Oh, that's
so
amazing.
Okay.
So guys,
so Shubham, like Captain Tejas said, like Captain Tejas said, best way. We don't want to speculate anything. Best ways, there are class 2 medical officers in almost all the major cities. I'm sure Chandigarh will definitely have one. Go and see a doctor and clear that ambiguity. Let's not, answer this question on a chat. A doctor will be the right person to certify it, whether you're fit or not.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Shubham, all the best.
Regards to your father. Mrudula, please go ahead. Mrudula.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for all the information you've given so far. It really helped a lot. I wanted to ask you what your day-to-day schedule looks like. How long do you work for in a day?
Well, for me, I would answer first. It's so we get a monthly roster, which is the best part about the life, is because you exactly know what you're going to do day after. There are times where you fly for, there are absolute limits that that you can fly per day, per week, per month, per year, and they are strictly followed by any airline across the world. So we know that we cannot fly more than 8 hours a day. So if I'm doing a flight where I'm going to, like, I just came back from Beirut the other day. That was my last flight the day before. I'd gone to Lebanon. So that was 4 hours to go, 3.5 hours to come back. And, that was my day. The next day I had an off day. The next day, I just had a training day where I went, on a training session and came back. Sometimes we have night flights where we actually awake all night, but then we have defined rest periods. There is no one who can call you up and say, sir, please call your flight. Or so we have absolute defined rest periods, and we have defined flight duty limitations, which are very strictly followed. So a few night flights, maybe 3 or 4 night flights in a month, a few day flights, a few very, very short flights where you just go, like, I think when I was with IndiGo last, it used to be just take off, go to Goa, come back. So it was like a nice day. I would, leave home at 9 o'clock, come back at 1 o'clock, great day, and the rest of the day off. Unfortunately, weekends is not off always. Unfortunately, as I earlier said, festivals, stuff like that is not off. Yeah. So days like that. So exciting month.
Great. So yeah, for me, Mridula, right? More or less the same, I would say, just because, we fly more domestic. So a number of legs in a day can be more, 3 to 4 at times. But more or less same, like they just explained. We live our, professional lives with limitations of flight duty, rest
Right.
periods. So everything is followed to the T. But otherwise, it's pretty relaxing. I would say maybe 1 day or 2 days in a month where you have to, work extra hard. But otherwise, it's pretty chilled out.
And also during COVID times, yes, we must confess that flying has come down, compared to what
Yeah.
it used to be before. We are flying much lesser. Also, there are a lot of government restrictions, but we know for a fact that as soon as the government restrictions are uplifted and as soon as the cases are down, and now we are seeing major changes, like like US is basically become a green zone now because more than 30% are vaccinated. Suddenly our flight loads are now going through, so which is changed compared to what it used to be 1 year back. So yes, things are picking up and they are looking positive, at least from where I am seeing it from. Of course, if you're in India, if you're maybe in a state that has like too many cases, too many restrictions, you will be like everything is shut here. So things are picking up for sure. Thank you.
Thank you. And I had one more question. Can I go ahead?
Yes, please.
You talked about flight training in Philippines. How much
Correct.
would you say it would cost in Philippines?
I think it is exactly the same as what you would spend in the US. The whole thing is the ease of getting into Philippines is much better. Getting a visa process, living standards, etc., etc. But then because now most flying schools in Philippines have instructors that are very experienced and very well qualified. Most of the price would be the same. So you're looking at about 40 to 43 lakh of rupees to do your CPL training in the Philippines. Correct me if I'm wrong, Vishal, if that's what you remember of.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. The flying cost is higher, but living cost is, I think, cheaper. So it comes out to be more or less the same.
What would you say is better, to do it in Philippines or to do it in India?
Both are okay. Absolutely okay. Like I said, when you're ready to start your flight training, respective academies, for example, Airbus will find out where there are slots available, so that you don't go there and sit down on ground and do nothing.
Yeah.
Wherever the slot is free, academies generally should route you to that particular
That's
school.
right. That's right.
Whether it is India or outside doesn't matter.
Because we know like basically the number of students that are currently flying there, what is their progress, where have they reached, like number of months that they would take to actually complete. Are the planes free or they're busy? Are the planes under maintenance or no? How is the weather there? Is it like raining too much, or we could send you to India, stuff like that. So either that, or then you obviously do your own research, which is not very difficult. You could just call up the flying school and ask them.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Miss.
Bye, Mridula.
We have one hands up who has 4 stripes and a captain's hat. Either he is a captain or he's super passionate. Go ahead, please.
Thank you so much, Captain. Actually, my question
Divyajit.
is
Divyajit.
Divyajit. So my question is to Captain Vishal. Sir, I'm
Yes,
a hotel
please.
management graduate.
Okay.
I'm a hotel management graduate, and
Okay.
I choose commerce in my 12th. And after that,
Okay.
I have done from NIOS, but I'm not
Okay.
much more confident about my physics and maths. So can you please tell
Okay.
me how much the 12th physics and maths are used in professional commerce
Okay.
in
First of
airlines?
all, your name is Dibyajit, right?
Yes, sir.
Divyajit, hi. So first of all, we have something in common. I am also a hotel management graduate.
Yes, sir.
I did my hotel management in 2004. So
Yes.
like you, I was also not very super intelligent with my physics and maths, but I think I've done reasonably well for myself as a pilot. As long as uh, basic physics and maths, yes, it helps you to do a quick calculation, but that is not something that you have to apply in your piloting journey. So as long
Yes.
as your quick mental maths is fine, that will help you to become a good pilot in future. I don't see it as a problem at all.
Yes, sir. And sir, there is, I had one offer that
Hmm.
within 26 lakhs from Argentina, I can have my CPL. So
Okay.
there was a rumor also in between that Argentinian license is also cancelled, blacklisted by DGCA. So is it true?
Uh, to be very honest, I would be guessing or lying if I answer this question. I have no clue about Argentina. I have not
Actually,
explored, neither heard about it.
yeah.
Okay.
So sorry, buddy. I have no clue about Argentina. This is the first time I'm hearing somebody offering CPL from Argentina in 26 lakhs. I'm really not sure
Yes,
about
sir.
the credentials.
Right.
Oh, thank you very much, sir,
Yash,
for your.
thank you, Divyajit. Yash, yes, please go ahead, Yash.
Hi, sir. This is Yash. Jain, sir.
Jai Hind.
Sir,
Yash.
yeah. Sir, actually, I have class 2 medical. So now I'm planning to join any ground classes. So should I go ahead for the ground classes or should I do my class 1 first?
Both can be done at the parallel, I would say.
Exactly. I was just going to say the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Because,
don't
sir,
need to do
actually, I did my class 2 last year.
That's fine. As long as you cleared it.
So I cleared.
That's it. Then you can start, and then simultaneously you can get a date, because if you're going to wait to get a date for class 1 medical, it's just going to be time consuming. So if you're ready to wait, of course, because the class 1 medical, you could get a date after 3 months, after 6 months. So in that process, you don't want to waste time. I mean, if you know that for sure you want to
So absolutely.
fly that aeroplane as per your display picture.
Yeah, sir.
Absolutely.
So thank you, sir. Jai Hind.
All the
Jai
best.
Hind. Bye.
Hello, sir. This is Narendra. I just have a question for Sir Tejas. The question is, which part of the country of Canada we will recommend for flight time?
I would say British Columbia is a state which basically around Vancouver, there are these cities called Abbotsford, Burnaby, Chilliwack, Richmond. These are cities that have flying schools. You must Google, which is the latest one, which of them are approved, how many airplanes they have, how many instructors they have. Do they have CFI? Do they have CFII? Do they have class 2 instructors available? Do they have class 1 instructors available? And how much is it costing them? Remember, BC is slightly more expensive than doing it in basically other parts of Canada, but at least the weather is fantastic, and you have tons of our Indian guys there who are always there to support you to stay and stuff like that. So you get much cheaper accommodation compared to the rest of the country. But compared to doing it out of Toronto, it's your again weather is a problem. So please stick to British Columbia if you want to go to Canada.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Awesome. Yes, Akif Amin.
Hello, sir. Actually, I wanted to ask about there's a flying school in Dammam, OEDF.
In Dammam,
CA, yeah, CA
Saudi Arabia.
flight school, Oxford, Saudi. Yeah. So
Okay.
would you recommend this for like Indian students? They provide a CPL plus typesetting for 70 lakhs. I visited there. It's really good. Diamond DA 40 and 42.
Right.
Demonical pilot.
Sorry.
So would you recommend that, sir?
Well, to be, I mean, I would not recommend. I would say if you've done your calculation and if it suits you for you to go live in Dammam, if you have family there, you have friends there, and you want to go to Saudi Arabia and fly, it's fair enough. The one thing that I like to confess about flying into Saudi Arabia is that the weather is always just perfect, you know. So you're not getting an experience of, you know, busy airspace, flying around beaches, flying around weather, flying around, you know, flying around mountains. Is just flat land of desert. So, so as far as experience is concerned, it would be a lot more if you're flying in the US or Philippines or in India, because at least you're, you know, flying around, you know, a lot more natural geography. So it's, of course, but it's your choice. If they are assuring you it is a registered, recognized international civil aviation organization approved flying school, DGCA will accept your flying, but you know, probably if you're flying in the US, it will make you a better pilot, I feel.
Okay, so it's actually based on the international airport itself.
Absolutely, but that's not going to change the weather, no, my friend. It's just perfect weather here in the Middle East. So, you know, I mean, sometimes very, very bad weather is also not good, because then it's just snowing in low clouds, and no weather is also not good because all you have is just, you know, clear skies. So there's no experience of, you know, real flying, real instrument flying, where you actually need the weather to be there. You need the clouds to be there. It's not there, you know.
So also, buddy, you need to understand, when you say international airport, the weather which might be acceptable for a jetliner may not be acceptable for a training aircraft. So,
Absolutely.
you know, don't make that as a criteria to choose your flight training center, right? So do a research, go to the center which, again, you know, where the weather conditions are good for a flight training, not for an airline to land.
Yeah.
Okay. All the best, Akif.
Thank you, sir.
Aditya, thank you so much. Captain Aditya Nasta has been with us, and he's been answering all the questions online. We really appreciate it. Aditya, if you can just on the chat, if you could just come up and say hello as well. Thank you so much for doing that.
Hi guys. Sorry, I haven't been able to switch the camera on. I've taken the vaccination yesterday, and I'm feeling the side effects right now. So that's why I'm just keeping it low key and trying to answer the questions on the chat. So I just wanted to speak about this last question about flying either in Argentina or in Saudi Arabia, or all of these places. Even though you might say they're ICAO approved, the problems come during conversion. And that's why there are certain places which are recommended, and the DGCA already knows very well about converting those licenses. Now, if you get them paperwork from Argentina, which is written in Spanish, or if you get them papers from Saudi Arabia, and where they have to verify the authenticity of those licenses, that's where the problems happen. And that's why we have decided to tie up with places which run smoothly for the conversion.
Right.
Lots of questions about recommended books for DGCA exam. There are, hundreds of writers who have written books over the years and have been updated. The DGCA has a certain syllabus where they pick up from certain books. What Airbuzz instructors have done is they've gone through all of those books, picked up questions from all of those books, and made it into an in-house library of 7,000 questions. And our instructors run through those questions while they study the ground training with you. So you are not required to go through the entire list of books that the DGCA recommends.
Absolutely.
What else?
Hi, Aditya. Just want to say congratulations to you and Tejas for setting up a very exciting training academy in Mumbai. Whatever I've seen little, you guys have done a fantastic job. In fact, guys, if you have a video, why don't you just run it?
Yes, I was just going to ask you actually if it's okay. I'll just put it on. I'll just share my screen sorry, can we have the host? Could you make me the host again, please? And so I can share the screen. And I'll just like to share a short video of the academy that we've made. Okay, I don't know. Shashank?
No, so I'm not the host.
Okay, then.
Amitesh, I think.
Amitesh.
Amitesh?
Yes, sir.
Amitesh? Okay, you are the host now. Thank you so much.
Hello, sir.
Yes, it's back. Thank you. Can you guys see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fantastic. So this is how the website looks, which is airbuztraining.com. It talks about all our courses, what we have, stuff like that. But I'm not going to take your time with that. I'm just going to show you just a second. Just going to show you a video. Can you guys see this?
Welcome to Airbuzz Training Solutions. This is our reception area where all your doubts and queries get cleared and answered. Take just a few steps forward and you'll enter our aptitude analysis zone. This is the real deal that will tell you whether you're suited for aviation or not. This is where all the paperwork happens, ensuring you have a smooth sailing journey in the field of aviation. This is one of our 2 good-looking classrooms, which makes for the perfect environment for learning. This is our 2nd classroom with yet another conducive atmosphere. Every decor and detail that has gone into making Airbuzz Training Solutions is meant to enhance your passion for the field of aviation.
Oh, sorry.
This is our real in-house beauty, where all the magic unfolds. What you're looking at is one of the best setups across the entire country. This is a state-of-the-art A320 Airbus fixed-based simulator where all the flying happens. And all this is right here in the heart of Mumbai city. And oh, in case you're wondering, we do have a quaint pantry area where you can fill up some coffee and get some grub. Sign up now. Airbus, give wings to your dreams.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Wow, fantastic.
Okay, wait, I'm just going to pause the share. Thank you. And back.
Great job, guys. Great job. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir,
right,
hello, am I audible?
yes, go ahead.
If I have Indian license, can I fly abroad airlines?
This is Thirji. Is that you? No. Sorry.
No, Tanmay.
Yes, Tanmay.
Tanmay, yes, I am your live example here. Yes, you can.
And second question is, English is not my strength actually. So how to improve in English?
Well, you can definitely make it your strength. You can go to the right classes. You can go to, a personality development, communication, soft skill development classes for sure. There are plenty of them. And, I'm sure we've seen guys who have, come from really, really small towns and, and
like me.
And, no, well, you're from Chandigarh. That's not a small
Amritsar, man.
Yeah. Again, yeah, not a small town, but I've seen, guys coming from like really, really small towns, and who used to fly and who've made it very well in their life.
Tanmay, as they say, practice makes a man perfect. Okay, one of the foremost essentials to improve English proficiency is keep reading English louder. Sit in front of the mirror, read the newspaper loud. So that you start getting the vocabulary and the pronunciation part of it. Do not get embarrassed if you speak wrong English. Do not stop speaking English by the fear of being embarrassed. That's fine. At the end of the day, the only person who will benefit out of that mistake is you. Okay, so keep talking, keep practicing, and there's no reason you can not gain English proficiency or cannot make that as a strength of yours.
Right, and
Okay,
Also for most guys who are flying, currently, I just gave this small recommendation to my last trainee. There's JFK New York air traffic control live that goes on YouTube or on somewhere else. Singapore tower also goes on live. You can actually hear it all the time to see how how the air traffic control and the pilots communicate with each other. And that makes such a big difference when you're actually coming to do your flying, because at least you know that you're speaking right. That makes a lot of difference. It's a lot of fun. Yes. Shivam Seni, I don't know if he spoke to us.
Hi, sir. Hi, sir. I'm currently 23 years of age and working as a software engineer. Sir, is it too late to start this journey?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I started Shivam at the age of 23, exactly. Okay, so absolutely not. So generally airlines do fresh recruitments till the age of 37. So let's say even if you start in next 2, 3, 4 months, by the time you finish your CPL, will be 25. So you still have a absolutely clear window of 12 years to give yourself a chance to get into the airlines.
Right, I agree.
Thank you.
Web app 05, please go ahead. Okay, Afi, go ahead, please.
Afnan, my friend, Afi has a lot of questions all the time.
Hello, sir.
How are you, Afnan? All
Hello?
well?
Yeah. Well, so I have one question. Hello, I am audible?
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
You said that if 45 lakh is needed to CPL, yeah, right? Hello?
Yes. 45 lakhs is required roughly.
Yes.
In this include the hello?
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
This include how much the cost of living in US?
I think it's about another 12 lakh of rupees. So you can say a lakh a month, which would be including your travel, staying, eating, drinking, lodging, boarding, traveling, all of it.
I think this is included in this 45 lakhs. When we say 45 lakhs for CPL, it is inclusive of your stay and khana and pina and all.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Do the flying school provide the English communication to improve our English communication?
In fact, no, they don't. I mean, they will.
I think Airbuzz does.
Yes, Airbuzz does. So we've got a soft skill training program for you to come join and improve your communication skills, including your body language, including your air traffic control communication, everything that's basically required as a pilot.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Thanks. All right. So thumbs up here. Everything is good. I see the same hands raised. I'm assuming that you haven't put it down again. So.
Yeah.
No, I had a different question.
Okay,
how
sorry.
long?
Yes. Please go ahead.
How long did it take for the entire training process to complete, from the exams till you got a job?
So it will range from about 12 months to 24 months. 18 months would be an average time. Anything faster than that would be too fast. Anything slower than that, it just means that you're taking more time just to clear all your tests, all your checks, all your theory papers.
What is a training schedule like? Can I do like anything else with the training? Like, can I take up a degree or jobs, part-time jobs and stuff?
Well, you can, but it's just going to slow down, right? Like if you go to the US, there are so many people who basically, fly for leisure and, who fly for fun and who want to get their licenses done, but they cannot fly, till they don't have their private pilot license. So most of them work, they just come on weekends and they do it. Yes, so it's possible. There were guys when I was in Canada, there were my friends who were actually working at a pizza store, and then who decided to just fly thrice a week. Obviously, it took them longer to finish their CPL, took them longer to come back, longer to find a job, longer to do everything else. So it's your choice completely. Yes, you can break it up.
Mridula, especially if you're planning to do your training overseas, there is also a legal issue. Do not get caught, working on a student visa, because
Absolutely.
you're not going on a work permit. So yes, there are a lot of small stores which will give you a part-time job to make you that extra, $10-20 a day. But if you're caught, you can be in serious trouble. Plus, like I just said, it will only, I would say, divide your vision. I'd rather focus how to, get out of that country as soon as possible, and put my every single ounce of energy towards that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye.
Sir, can I speak again? This is Shubham this side.
Go ahead.
Okay, sir. So just a random question that how much years will it gonna take us, to reach the 1500 hours to being a captain? From a first officer, then a co-captain to a captain. Like I guess the range is 1500 hours, right?
Vishal.
So 1500 hours, Shubham, is a minimum number of hours to get a ATPL issued.
Yes.
Okay. Generally, and there are a couple of more detailed requirements. Generally, your requirement for ATPL issue gets fulfilled only when you have actually flown in an airline for about, let's say, 1800 hours, right? So now command upgrade, it depends on airline to airlines. The criteria changes. Few airlines gives you command at 2000, few 2500, few 3000, few by virtually the number of years you have spent with the organization. But on an average in Indian aviation, you can expect command upgrade somewhere close to 2500 hours, which will take you, let's say, at least 4 years of time if you have not been medically grounded, or the things are normal after COVID, right? So 4 years is what we should target at, 4 to 5 years, somewhere in middle.
Okay. So like just another question. Sorry to mention this, but
Now we're gonna start charging, huh, Shubham?
Okay, I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. Okay, sir. So, like as my dad was saying, life is gonna change a lot. From being an athlete to being a pilot. Like right now, we are having luxuries and everything. The most luxury that I can say I get is to meet my family. Like not most of the times, but yeah, when we visit India, we meet our family. But as a pilot, I've heard, there's a lot of work and everything, and you can't meet your family, even on holidays or weekends or everything. So is it like that? It's like a pilot life is kind of on a hard side. Is it like?
नहीं यार, pilot भी घर पे रहते हैं, border पे थोड़ा जाना है.
No, sir. Not meant like that.
So
I
pilot,
mean,
lot of pilots stays with their families. They meet them on daily basis, or at least, let's say, if there is a layover, it will be a day or two, and you come back to your home and you meet your family. Yeah.
I mean,
Tejas is flying in a more global airline, I would say. So
and I would say, I mean, obviously pre-COVID, when there were no restrictions, I would actually fly home easily once a month. Sometimes even twice a month, because obviously we have discounted tickets that would help. You have days off, you just go where you want to, which is a much more benefit than I mean, any other job. If you need to switch your base from where you are, or you need to get it based out of somewhere else, I don't think that you will be able to come back home so often. Unlike a pilot or a cabin crew, or someone in the aviation, would be able to come back home much more.
Second is Shubham. This is because Captain Tejas' family parents are in Mumbai and he is in Abu Dhabi. Had his parents decided to live with him in Abu Dhabi, they would meet him every day.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay, so yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So
it depends basically.
Right. Aaron Suresh, go ahead.
Hi, sir. My doubt is, sir, I want to settle in Canada, and so I was thinking, I could do my flying from Canada and also get a job there in one of any of the Canadian airlines. So, what do you think is the hardships faced by the students, do they get directly into an airline after CPL, or do they have to go through a long journey? Like, what is the duration and the lifestyle?
Well, I have been in Canada and it's not easy. Number one, a lot of people end up going there as a flying thing and then staying back. Even the guys, a lot of them did not get their PR approved because they don't need pilots. They don't need bachelor pilots. They need from, so basically each year Canada comes up with a score. I'm sure you've done your research, and, it depends upon what your profession is, what your what your expertise are, and they don't need pilots. And yes, getting into Canadian airline is the whole process. You have to go get your CPL, you have to become an instructor, you have to fly small planes, you have to fly charters, corporates, turboprops, and then basically get into an airline. So yes, it's possible. We do know a lot of Indians who are flying for Canadian airlines, who are flying for Canadian cargo companies. Was it easy? I would say no. They have obviously gone through the whole cycle, the whole hardship process. But if you're looking at, I'll go to Canada, do my flying, settle down there, it's not going to happen. Not easy.
Okay.
Suryadev.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, I have a doubt. Like, is it hard to get an airline job in abroad if you are an Indian citizen?
Well, it's not hard. They come up with vacancies and you have to apply for them, and then it's just a normal recruitment process, whether it's the same recruitment process, whether it's in India, whether it's abroad. So yes, there are only certain countries that you can go to. Many of them require, or basically hire only their own nationals. But like Middle East and Far East are two examples of it, where there were and there are and there will be a lot of Indian pilots flying for these airlines.
Guys, can I just pitch into this question because it's coming a few times?
Yes.
When it comes to getting a job, airline job abroad, it is very, very difficult, if not impossible, to get a job with the experience that you get a job in India. So that is why all of this is happening, to direct you to come back to India, because you're not going to get a job in any country in the world with 200 hours except for in India, being an Indian national.
That's
that's the bottom line.
Yeah, I agree.
So I hope this answers all the questions.
Okay,
if you want to get a job in the US, you need minimum 1,500 hours. In that also, you will get a very low paying job where you will not be able to, take care of your daily expenses with that salary that you get over there. Same thing in Canada. It is highly improbable to get a good paying job even with 1,500 hours of flying under your belt. Countries in Southeast Asia are giving jobs at low experience to their locals because they want to promote their locals getting into airlines. And we have a huge growing aviation market, whether it be China, India, or even other countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh. They are giving only to their nationals.
Absolutely. So guys, generally when a legacy carrier or big airlines come out with job vacancies, they generally ask for a ATPL as a minimum requirement. And to get ATPL, you have to have, like we discussed, 1,800 hours of time, which means you have to spend some time, in a regional airline of your country, gain some experience of 3-4 years, and then once you're eligible, of course, you can apply.
Hello, sir. Sorry to interrupt you. Can I ask the question?
Yes, please.
Sir, is it good to take a loan for your CPL? For CPL, can we take loan for CPL? Is it good to take loan for CPL?
You can take the loan, definitely. Is it good? It's a very difficult question to answer. If your family have the funds to support, then I would say avoid. Why to pay the interest? But if your family cannot support your CPL training, but you can provide the required security to the bank, you can definitely consider a loan, because once you get a job, you can repay it.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I think let's just take one last question, Vishal.
Yeah.
Sumukh.
Hello. Hello, sir. Sir,
Yes,
can you
Sumukh.
please tell me what is meant by airline training?
What is meant by airline training? You mean airline recruitment training?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So basically at Airbuzz, because we have applied for so many airlines and we have got through them and we have worked for many airlines, all of our promoters, we've there's a whole theory that we have on what is expected by a candidate to join a certain airline, so whether it's in India, whether it's abroad. So we basically prepare them. If you are a first time applying as a co-pilot job, or if you're applying as a job for a captain, or if you're applying as something else, we would basically train you to share the experiences that we went through while we applied for all these airlines. So we not only train you technical, but we also train you non-technical, crew resource management, teamwork, how to crack the interview, how to answer questions, how to solve your theory paper, and how to dress, what to say, what actually not to say, how to answer basic questions like what are your strengths and weaknesses in terms of aviation, or how it would go for you rather than against you. So this is what we do at airline recruitment training, and we also do this for cabin crew. We have information from all the major airlines. We know their exact recruitment process, and we have made an entire class and like a whole 6-month course on how you can easily crack the entrance exams of all these airlines and the entrance interview, including for cabin crew as well as for pilots. Does that answer your question? So
yes, sir. Sir, should we have to pay for airline training after getting a job in that particular airline?
Well, it depends. If they are going to send you to fly the type of airplanes that they have, then yes, either they take some upfront money, or they basically just deduct it from your salary in the coming years. But that's airline to airline, and a few airlines could just give it to you if there is demand for you basically to join them, like the way I didn't pay for my type rating when I went Kingfisher.
So yeah, so most of the airlines don't, but few, like I just said, do charge money. For example, Scoot used to charge money from the candidates if they want to do the training on 787s, right? But on 320, so it totally depends on airline policy. But most of the airlines generally don't charge anything upfront. However, they will make you sign a training bond.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Sir, my first question is, what to do first to become a pilot after getting? Hello, sir.
Hello, yes, say again, please.
What to do first to become a pilot?
What to do first to become a pilot? First, to be eligible to start.
Yes.
If you have science, physics and maths in 12th, first thing is we should do your medicals, class 2 and class 1 medicals.
Okay.
And then
sir,
join the
my
ground
next
training.
Question.
Sorry? Say that again, please. Hello.
Well, so yeah, just to repeat or just to answer his questions as we discussed earlier, first is your 12th physics and maths. If you don't have that, then you can do it separately via NIOS. You can Google it. Then you do your class 2 medical, then you get a computer number, then you pass your papers, including radio telephony, RTRA restricted. Then you go for your flying, followed by converting exam. If you've gone it, if you've done your flying abroad, then you convert your license to the Indian license. If you've done it in India, then you just basically apply for the CPL. These are the basic 5 steps for you to become a pilot.
Sir,
rest, thank you so much. You guys can please follow us on Instagram. My handle is CAPT, which is Captain CAPT TEJAS Captain Tejas, and Vishal is. Go ahead, Vishal. Please
Hi
share.
guys. Any questions, any queries? Please message me
Just
on
one question.
Vishal.
Sir,
Vishal and yeah. Hi guys.
sir, is it better? Hello, sir. Sir, is it better to get a degree for backup in case we are unable to fly after training due to some irreversible?
Sumit, can we take this question? Can we take this question on a personal message, because we have commitments to go somewhere? So you can directly message us. Tejas has shared his ID. My ID would be Vishal_G2183. Okay, I'll repeat, Vishal_G2183. You can message us for any doubts you may have, and we'll be happy to answer. And you can message either me or Tejas or Airbuzz. Tejas, if you can just share Airbuzz ID and all.
Yes, absolutely. I was just going to type it as well. So basically, Airbuzz training is @Airbuzz training, AIRBUZZ training, TRAINING, and you will find us on Instagram. You will find us on Facebook. Also, you can look at our website. I would like to personally end is follow your dream, follow your passion, do the right thing. Don't get fooled. Do all your research. Luckily, you have tons of information online. Do not take a step without being absolutely sure where you're putting your time and money in. Also, Captain Asta shared our WhatsApp number as well. If you have any questions, you can please WhatsApp on that number, and you will definitely get a reply from the team at Airbuzz. So thank you very much. It was a pleasure to do this. It was my first time and I enjoyed it thoroughly. Over to you, Vishal.
Well, thank you guys for being there, for being with us, tuned in for last 2 hours. Though we would have loved to continue this for a couple of more hours, but unfortunately, we have some commitments where we need to go. We have shared our personal details. Captain Nasta has shared details about Airbuzz. We'll be more than happy to help you, guide you, mentor you. If you trust us, all we can say is you will never be misguided for sure. Well, have a great evening ahead. See you in skies soon.
And again, thank you, Shashank Chowdhory and team of Pilot Goals. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Shashank.
Tejas, sir, can you repeat your Instagram handle? I'm so sorry.
Yes, it's
Sir, can you repeat your Instagram?
TEJS.
The link, the link is there in the chat box.
Yes, the link is there in the chat box. All right, see you there.
Bye, guys. Have a great evening.
Bye. See you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you for guidance.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.